So I went to this new group based in Glasgow called the Generally Unimpressed by Everything group, right? So they're a group of people who identify as misanthropes and, you know, clinically depressed people or just generally grumpy, dour, miserable Scots who are generally unimpressed by everything. So this sounded great because I'm one of those. I'm generally unimpressed by most things. There aren't books or music or films or you know pieces of art that people have made. When it comes to the outside world, I'm mainly indifferent and bored by most things. I'm one of these people who would go to the Taj Mahal and admire the beautiful building for about 10 seconds and then sink back into existential gloom and general feelings of torpor and inadequacy. So for the first outing we went to a fancy cocktail bar in the centre of town. You know these places, you go inside them and they're incredibly sort of titivated, ornate, um, well lit, places that give the illusion of wealth and opulence. So they have this place in particular had this huge netting over the top of the ceiling with lights attached in each individual kind of rung of the net, and this well lit purple ceiling with sort of floating kind of ethereal lighting effects on the top. It gave a sense of high class business, and we went in there. 7 or 8 of us, generally unimpressed people, just glum, fairly depressed by life, and just expecting to have a rubbish time. And we went in. So we went into this building and were greeted by the overly enthusiastic waiter who took us to our little booth. We found a large booth. 6 of us sat around this long booth, and we ordered a couple of cocktails each. So I ordered one. I can't remember the name of it now, but it was, as with most cocktails, it was a sickly, overly strong concoction of aniseed and mango and other assorted fruits in a very strong alcoholic brew, and it tasted disgusting. And I drank it, and so we all had one, and we all drank it. And we sat there in this quite busy cocktail bar, and just sort of sat there and looked around at the swarms of people drinking these drinks and seemingly having a good time. And we just sat there bewildered. That was it, really. We just sat there going, what are we missing? What is this? What's the deal with this place? It's been deliberately designed to have a kind of a feeling of opulence and success and of grandeur and of happiness, but all they're doing is selling sickly, horribly overpriced cocktails that taste disgusting, leave you drunk, and ultimately leave you feeling out of pocket and sort of sick in your stomach. So we just sat there discussing that. We sat there discussing how most alcohol marketing is responsible for the mass cover-up of reality, of the real, grim inevitability of death, and alcohol is the best way to block out that reality. So we had a good conversation about that. We had a good conversation about how alcohol marketing is the biggest con in the world, and that we should be thinking about bigger things such as our immortalities. So that was the first meeting of this group, and so we all walked out the bar having had a miserable time. The conversation was nice because we were all in agreement with each other, and none of us could say at the end of the meeting that we'd actually connected or bonded with another person, or that we'd found some kind of solace in the company we kept for that hour. None of us could say that because we didn't believe it, because we knew we were going to go back to our respective homes and our lives and carry on the struggle with our, existential gloom and our general Sartrean nausea, if you like, at being alive. And we all agreed that, and we all agreed to meet up the next week and try abseiling.